Hi, this is Dr. Ned Hallowell with a mini distraction. Today's episode was prompted by an experience I had driving down to the studio. On Mondays when we record, I leave my home in Arlington and drive down to Hamden, Connecticut, a suburb of New Haven. And it's become quite a ritual for me. I enjoy the drive. It's a long drive. It's 2 to 2.5 hours. But I listen to music and I think long thoughts and I think about what I'm going to talk about on the show. Only today I was going to be early, which the producers can tell you is a rare event. I was going to be early. I left early. I was going to be early until when I was just miles away from the studio, maybe 10 miles away from the studio. The enlightened people who run traffic and construction decided that it was time to block traffic. And so there was a car with flashing lights ahead of me, ahead of all the traffic, driving in the middle, down the middle dotted line of this 2-lane highway, thereby making it impossible for anyone to get past. And the car was driving about 10 miles an hour. Mind you, the speed limit on this particular highway is 65 miles an hour. So we all had to come to a crawl at 10 miles an hour. And what I want to share with you is the feeling you get when you're stuck in traffic, and you're stuck in traffic because some diabolical nitwit decided to slow you down. At first, I thought this was some kind of a protest, that this car with flashing lights, it was like a slow-in or something, that they were protesting some cause or another. But then I realized that this was a legitimate traffic control vehicle. But for the life of me, I couldn't figure out what was to be gained by slowing all the traffic down to 10 miles an hour. There was no construction going on. There was no apparent reason whatsoever. There was no accident. There was no, the usual list of suspects as to why. But for a car to be driving with flashing lights in the middle of a 2-lane highway, making it impossible for anyone to pass that car, to reduce the speed of all of us to 10 miles an hour, I was like bursting blood vessels in my brain. I was so angry. I was so upset at the unnecessary stupidity of the people who do these things. I don't know how you feel, but and maybe there was a very good reason, and I'm the one who's stupid for not understanding the very good reason. But try as I might, I couldn't think of any reason that we had to bring all traffic down to 10 miles an hour for miles, and with no construction to be found until after about 10 miles, we started coming up upon traffic cones, and they started dotting one lane, making it impossible to enter that lane. And then we finally got to the end of the line of cones where there was a truck parked with a big yellow flashing arrow flashing to the lane that we all had been forced into. Again, no construction. And next to the truck, there stood a sign that said, "End construction," at which point we were allowed to go back to 2 lanes and go back to 65 miles an hour. End construction, it was like something out of an existential play. End construction when there was no construction. We were slowed down for non-existent construction, invisible construction. Then we were subjected to cones forcing us into one lane. And then we were treated to a sign saying end of construction when there had never been any construction in the first place. I got that off my chest. I was so upset. And what did I do? How did I cope with it? Well, I called one of our producers, Sarah, and vented to her about how I planned to be early, and here I am, going to end up being on time. But I said, maybe I'll see you sometime tonight. Who knows what other construction they'll invent. I tried listening to music to take my mind off of it. I tried telling myself the usual things. It won't do any good to get worked up. You might as well think of a book you want to read or write. You can call a friend. But still, the absolute stupidity of the people who were subjecting me to this delay, I couldn't get it out of my head. Now, were I a more mature, seasoned, enlightened individual, I would have given it up and just said you can't control what you can't control, think pleasant thoughts, dream pleasant dreams. I'm not that enlightened. I advise people to be that enlightened, but at least at this moment on this particular day, I wasn't. And I suppose I'm dealing with it by sharing it with you all because I have a sneaking suspicion that some of you have been there as well. And maybe when we both encounter the next time apparently pointless delays in travel, and there's so many at airports, on roadways, everywhere you go, apparently pointless delays for no good reason. The plane is delayed and it's a beautiful day, and you discover it's because the flight attendant has gone 10 minutes over. In any way, you've been there. We've all been there. But maybe next time we can sort of think of each other and say, well, we're in the secret society, and let's advise each other to chill out, calm down, relax, and accept that these minutes of our lives are being stolen from us, but we will not give them away. Rather, we'll reclaim them by refusing to get upset and put ourselves into a negative state of mind. I'll try and do that next time. I hope you will as well. This is Ned Hallowell for Distraction. Distraction is produced by Collisions, the podcast division of CRN International. Collisions, podcasts for curious people. Our producer is Sarah Gurton, our sound engineer is Scott Person, and our music theme was created by Mark Berman.